Hello, hello. This is the voice of Syrhea Conaway, and I am here to talk to you about how to price your work. Just really quick, the original presentation that I did on the 14th of October, the first 5 minutes was cut off. It did not get recorded, so I'm going to be just redoing that first 5 minutes and blending it in with the remaining presentation that took place the 14th of October. So, really quick disclaimer. Um, my name is Syrhea Conaway. I'm a teaching artist, musician, multi-instrumentalist, producer, composer, and basically I live in the performing arts world. So if you find yourself in visual arts or literary arts or some other art form that I'm not listing here, there may still be some takeaways for you. So please just take what resonates with you and don't let what doesn't take from you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first off, know your worth. Know your worth. Self-reflect, self-aware, self-worth. If you continue a cycle of reflection and awareness, it will help you pinpoint your worth as a creator. This is very, very, very vital. For example, let's say my cousin, she has a business where she draws little doodles and people pay her to put doodles on invitations or some sort of cardstock like type of situation here. And I think, wow, she's so successful. I can do that. That's simple. I'm going to start my business tomorrow, right? Well, let's see here. The future reality of me starting my own doodling business, that's my future reality. But my current reality is I don't doodle, right? So me starting this business tomorrow, I may not get the results that I'm looking for because I haven't had enough artistic practice to really sell myself in some that kind of way. So I'm not really practicing self-awareness. So you need to really ask yourself these questions. How have we contributed enough time and artistry to what we do to actually have value? So if we continue this cycle of practice of self-awareness and self-reflection, it will help us attain and get what we truly want. So let's say, this is my current reality and I have a future reality set and I do all the action items in between that to attain that future reality. And once I get that reality, I need to reevaluate to see if that's really what I want. Everything in life is a practice. You can't brush your teeth once and your teeth forever be clean. You can't go to the gym once and you have a six pack for the rest of your life and you're this incredible shape. You have to continue to put that energy and effort and work into what you are doing. So back to this whole doodle example. If I practice self-awareness, I would know that my doodle business would not just take off and be running tomorrow. Because little do I know, my little cousin who started her doodle company, she's put in way more than 10,000 hours of work into her practice. She's been doodling since she's a child. So, according to Malcolm Gladwell, if you have more than 10,000 hours of practice at something, that makes you an expert. So self-reflection and self-awareness is very, very, very vital. But really quick, let's get into some arts impact. So according to the Americans for the Arts, the national economic impact of COVID-19 has been estimated to be about $14 billion. This is likely a low number because they took surveys from nonprofit organizations. So obviously for-profits are not being counted in this, therefore the number would be higher. So let's take a look at these nonprofit organizations. 96% of the organizations have canceled events. 29% of the organizations have laid off or furloughed their staff. 59% of organizations remain closed. And of that 59%, 39% have no idea when they're going to reopen. As far as the individual artists, again, these numbers could be low. 63% have become fully unemployed. 95% report a loss of income. 67% are unable to access the resources to do their work. And 78% have no post-pandemic financial recovery plan. So on average, BIPOC experience higher hardships. Again, these numbers could be low, 9% more in unemployment, 5% more in monetary loss. And just really quick, this survey by the Americans for the Arts, about 20,000 organizations across the United States filled it out, and about 27,000 artists filled it out. So 27,000 out of 330 million people that currently live in this country is a very small percentage. So you're probably like, okay, why are you telling me about all this financial hardships whenever I'm trying to be here to learn how to price my stuff? Well, this is very, very important. I want to give you this information to try to connect the dots on what people did whenever everything got shut down. So during stay-at-home orders, 60% of streaming content and consumption increased. 50% of that increased between the hours of 1 p.m., which is a 100% increase from the same time period of 2019. And the younger demographics experienced a larger growth than other demographics. So here is a chart from Nielsen, the P2554 internet connected device. Basically, that's just talking about streaming sites like Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney Plus. As you can see here, St. Louis increased by 72% during the week of March 2nd to March 23rd. But if you remember, Mayor Crewson did not enact the stay-at-home order until March 16th. So really, St. Louis increased by 72% in a week. So people consumed and were hungry for the arts, basically. Let's look at all the things that it takes for to create some sort of content or media creation of streaming services. So I see literary arts, I see visual arts, I see performing arts, literary, head writer, screenwriter, story editor, writer, you know what I'm saying, researcher, visual arts, I see costume designer, makeup artist, graphics coordinator, graphics designer, vision mixer, visual effects, title sequence designer, you know, and then performing arts, obviously with the music. And we hadn't even got to the on-screen talent, let alone what the content is even about. This could be a cooking show, just your regular old drama, animation. I mean, we have no idea, but these sectors are needed. So with that said, this is for the non-believers who don't value the arts in general. We consume arts on the daily. Arts on the daily. So clearly arts have value, but that value doesn't reflect in the monetary compensation for artists. Okay, so let's just jump into pricing your performances and what it looks like. And we'll go over some really quick marketing terms. So value versus price. What is the difference? Well, value is how someone feels about your work, and it's determined by the client, community, or society, not the seller. And it's completely subjective. So let's see. I have a payday here. I got a payday. And I got this payday at like Sam's. And it was like $7.88 per box of 10. So this payday really actually costs about 80 cents. So if I go to Walgreens or maybe the vending machine, I'll get the same exact payday for $1.50. Same thing. And maybe if I go to the movie theater, I'll get this exact same payday for like $4 or $5. So we have the same product with different price points, and people are still willing to buy it. You know, there's a lot of factors on how something can be valued, but the actual cost of manufacturing this payday is the same. And that is the same with us as artists. You know, if we are the product and we have our different price points on who is asking us to produce this work or do this art, right? Let's move on to price. Price is basically a compensation given to one party by another for goods or services. So price is calculated by cost plus profit. Price is objective. So I know a person who cannot stand Prince, thinks Prince is overrated, doesn't get why everyone adores the man or likes his music. So clearly Prince brought no value to this individual's life, right? Subjective. But objectively, Prince, at the time of his death, was worth about $200 to $300 million. Therefore, clearly he had value, clearly he had worth, and this is an objective price point that we can say to counterbalance, you know, someone's subjective thinking. So let's go ahead and move on here. So our cost calculation. Cost is our units of effort or time plus materials. So basically for musicians, this cost is our hourly rate plus our expenses. So to add that to our total price formula, our price should be our cost, which is our hourly rate and expenses, plus our profit. Let's just say, for example, you're offered a gig to play somewhere. Your hourly rate is $50. It's going to cost you an additional $50 in expenses to adequately promote the event, right? And let's say you want to have like a 5% profit, which off $100 is pretty low. So maybe you want to do as opposed to a percentage in this situation, you want to do a flat rate. So let's just say you want to have a $25 profit. So your total price for accepting this gig and playing this gig is going to be $125. Okay. So your profit margin is vital and it's very, very important because it's necessary to cushion unforeseeable risks. Um, Something as unforeseeable as a worldwide pandemic. So your profit margin should increase as your experience increases, or your fan base or your influence or draw increases within or outside your target audience. I mean, this is a job. Like this, yes, is your hobby, but this is also how you make a living, right? So, you know, reward yourself with a raise. You know, if you do a great job at some sort of company or organization or business, um, you expect to get a yearly increase of monetary compensation to show respect and appreciation for all the hard work you're doing. Do the same thing for yourself, okay? If you take this and plug it into an Excel spreadsheet as a baseline, you can start the process of keeping track of where your money is going and how you are spending your money and what you are receiving your money for. Okay, so let's go ahead. My little cursor. There we go. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Business expenses is general stuff that you'll find within performing arts. Pretty self-explanatory, but don't forget. I want to really reiterate. Don't forget about the cost of marketing and promotion, like that photo shoots. You have to pay the photographer. If you have to contract artists for your performances, I'm talking about hiring more musicians, hiring dancers, hiring videographers. You have to pay those people. You can't expect other artists to do things for you for free all the time. So if you're paying for your people, you need to make sure you have the money to pay your people, okay? Taxes. Don't forget about the taxes, or you might get your butt nipped whenever tax season comes around, being like, oh my gosh, where all this money? Why I owe all this money? Budget your taxes in this as well, okay? So we're going to go ahead and move on to questions you should ask yourself when responding to a pricing inquiry, okay? So we have the who, we have the what, we have the when, we have the where. What you don't see is the how, and the how is, how will this potential performance affect my bottom line? Is my bottom line going to be in the red, or is it going to be in the black? And if it's in the red, is it still worth for me to do this performance, to put on this production, right? So the who is pretty easy. Who's asking to do this performance? It's a friend, restaurant, nonprofit arts, nonprofits, bar, venue, festival, wedding, corporate. Think about the payday, right? I'm not going to charge my friend $3,000 to play a show in their basement because their mom wants to see me play, because it's the same price that I would charge some corporate entity to perform some sort of celebratory like event they're having for their business. You know what I'm saying? So like, have those different price points that are appropriate for what it is that you're producing. Also, who will you possibly contract to make this a wonderful performance or event or experience, okay? Moving on, what will it take to put on this performance? As you can see, this is a lot of our business expenses just kind of plugged in here. Have that your nice little Excel spreadsheet and have all this stuff listed out. If it applies, put it in so you can see where the money is. If it doesn't, leave it blank. Also, think about any special considerations. Like, let's say, for example, you get an inquiry of like, I don't know, some youth choir wants to do collaboration with you on their spring concert. Think about, okay, does this mean I have to have extra rehearsal time with the students? Will there be storage for my equipment in a safe place, or am I expected to load in and load out and set up and break down every single time that we set up for rehearsal? You know what I'm saying? Are there any additional line checks or sound checks? I mean, this is coming down to your time, right? And also a last minute inquiry. Let's say somebody got sick, I don't know, can't do a gig. They're asking you last minute to do it this weekend. think about, okay, can we put this together in less than 5 days? If so, we're going to ask for an extra, flat rate price because it's such a last minute request. Okay. When is the performance happening? Holiday, weekend, weekday, morning, afternoon, evening, night, time of year. So holidays are obviously days like, so for what is it? Thanksgiving is the day before Thanksgiving is like the biggest bar night of the year. So playing shows typically at bars or venues, you usually get a really nice draw because families in town for the holidays, for the Thanksgiving holiday. Same with like New Year's. There's high expectations of that night. It's a big celebratory night. But also at the same time, maybe you've been playing New Year's every year for the past decade, and you don't want to do it anymore. Balance your options. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth my time? Weekend versus weekday, maybe a Tuesday night isn't as popular as a Thursday night, or maybe a Wednesday night isn't as popular as a Saturday night. Gauge these things. Are you doing a morning performance? Is your voice warmed up? Are you even like coherent and ready and present to perform? I'm saying, what's the best hours for you as a performer? And the time of year, I'm not a fan of playing in the winter. It's cold outside. You got to carry all the gear. Your hands get cold. Your hands are numb. When it gets time to play, your mobility isn't quite there. And you just know deep in your heart, you're not giving the best show that you could possibly give because your hands are cold. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. Factor in if like, this is worth it. If it is, do you want more money or do you not want more money? Where is the performance taking place? Is it local through international? Is it inside or outside? Such an important thing. Outside performances. Got to think about weather. Is it going to rain? I've had this happen to me before. Bright, beautiful, sunny summer day, out of nowhere, thunderstorms on everybody's equipment. Terrifying experience, right? Is there wind or wind blowing your music stands or your paper around, or blowing on the microphone? Do you have pop filters? Stuff like that. Is there an actual stage? Is there a awning for weather? Is there appropriate sound equipment? I played Paint St. Louis one time by the graffiti wall. Didn't realize there was gravel at the site of where we were playing, and the gravel, a lot of the dust little particles got inside the jacks of my effects pedals, and I had to really kind of go through and do a lot of maintenance on that equipment because it damaged some of the gear. So think about those things. So do the work. Take all. So we have our price is our cost, and our cost is our hourly rate plus our expenses. Then also we're going to add our profit. Take that, plug it into an Excel sheet, run a formula, and then have all these questions that we just went through, as well as all the business expenses also listed. Plug it in, let it do the work for you, and figure out where your baseline is. So of course, there can be many considerations. Negotiations are always on the table. You have your own personal goals. The goal is for you to figure out, is this the best thing? Is this worth my time? Is this inquiry worth this dollar amount here? Okay. So, I didn't click here. Here we go. So check your prices. Ask around for pricing or hourly rate. Talk to your friends in the performance industry. You know what I'm saying? Have an open, honest conversation about it. Charge differently for the nature of the event, right? Remember that pay date, right? Whole Foods, Aldi. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Practice mindfulness on overcharging or undercharging. This is where our self-reflection and our self-awareness and our self-worth come back in here. Being honest is very, very, very important. Also, don't have any fear if someone's guarantee is lower than yours, or even if it's higher than yours. You don't know their goals. You don't know their financial burdens. You don't know their expenses. So don't get too caught up in the compare game. Focus on what you know about yourself and move forward in that fashion, okay? Next, on negotiating, everything has the potential to be negotiable. You know what I'm saying? If a price can't be settled with someone who's inquiring for you, negotiate other aspects of your contract or agreement. So let's say you want to have a guarantee for $500 to play, like, I don't know, an hour and a half set somewhere. at the old rock house or something, I'm not sure, and they can't give you that. They're offering 300, but then maybe you can come back and say, well, okay, we'll take the 300. You're going to offer us free drinks or free food the rest of the night, or you're going to give us all a t-shirt or something. You know what I'm saying? Make it work for you, not against you. Also, avoid pay to play venues and pay to play for exposure situations. They're not really good. I mean, follow your heart. If you want to play it, do it. No one can stop you but you. But don't get caught up in that, because is very predatory and it's not healthy. Okay? Discretion can be used for play for photos and video gigs. Yes, having content is important, but you don't want to get in the habit of doing that, because content also, has a time limit before the content isn't that fresh anymore. You know what I'm saying? So money pays bills. Videos don't. Okay, friends? Is accepting this offer worth it? So ask yourself these questions. Is this performance worth my time? Is it worth the time of others I might have to contract to help pull this performance off? Is this a great opportunity for me or, my people? Is the money sufficient? Are blackout dates appropriate? I once had a venue who tried to force me to black out 6 weeks prior and 6 weeks after the show. I'm like, what? No. What? Come on. Is the physical environment comfortable? Or will this affect my mental health in a negative way? Say like you have to ask someone to perform with you that maybe you guys kind of clash a little bit, or maybe somebody in your group doesn't really like this venue. The venue and the owner, they clash. Is this going to be worth your time? Because once you're on the stage, you have to be in that headspace to perform. So all that other drama does have some kind of effect on you. And think about what other questions you should consider. I typically kind of go the 3/5 rule. If I can answer yes to 3 out of these 5 of these answers, then I'm likely going to go ahead and accept the gig. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the money isn't quite there, but it's a great opportunity and the blackout dates are appropriate, and it won't affect my mental health. Okay, I'll go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, your goals. You should have goals. If you don't have goals, start making goals. Have personal goals, career goals, financial goals. Is this a space you always wanted to perform in? Is this an opportunity to work with someone you always wanted to work with? Career goals. Is this a stepping stone to your career goal? Is this satisfying your need for new experiences, right? Financial goals. How much do you realistically need to support your current lifestyle? Or how much do you realistically need to support a sustainable lifestyle? Okay, because maybe your current lifestyle isn't sustaining you, and that is a problem. You need to know your worth, right? Will this hold you back from your financial goals? Okay, so friends, you can't expect value from others if you don't value yourself. Do that internal work of self-reflection and self-awareness and know your worth. Plug this stuff into your Excel spreadsheets and get the party started. I hope there is time still left for some questions. I know I blew through that really, 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 really quickly, but I'm going to leave this screen up just for a little bit, and then I'm going to stop sharing.
Wow, thank you. That was so much good information. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We do have one question from Linda. She asked if she should create an LLC.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your work is. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't create a LLC if this is your business and this is a way for you to make money and make a profit. Create the LLC.
I would also recommend, you can also go to Volunteer Lawyers and Accountants. They're a really great resource for helping determine if that's a good option for you, and also how to go through that process. And remember, there's also always fiscal sponsorship, which MAPS can help you out with.
And I will say I actually did go through VLAA to set up my my LLC, because I wasn't sure. Because I'm doing so much, I wasn't sure how to really combine it all into one little entity. And they hooked me up with a lawyer for free. So yes, please take on that resource.
I just want to make sure we're taking any other questions. I do want to remind everyone, so first and foremost, I wanted to apologize because I thought that we were recording to the cloud. We were not at the beginning. We did start recording halfway through, as you probably noticed. I am going to ask Syrhea if we can make sure we share her presentation since half of that recording. So you will be able to view this later. If there aren't any other questions, and knowing we're at about time, I'm going to just go ahead and wrap up today's Mapping It Out session. Syrhea, thank you so much. That was really an amazing presentation. There's so much in there to think about. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to go back and think a lot about my worth and price. Not as an artist, but as a researcher, I feel like I'm able to take away a lot from that. Even though you're speaking as a performing artist, I feel like it's very applicable to so many disciplines and even outside of the arts itself. So
yes, now is the time, people. The system is crumbling and never really truly supported us artists. Now is the time to demand it. We cannot continue living like this. The starving artist little trope needs to go away. It needs to die. Okay? Now is the time. Demand it.
To that point, I really appreciate you, especially at the end, discussing what it means to thinking about what it means for an artist to have a sustainable lifestyle, because maybe you don't have that now. So how do you get there? So thank you so much, Syrhea. Seriously, amazing presentation. We'll make sure we put this up online. Thank you to everyone who came today. Like I said, we'll be having the next Mapping It Out session on November 11th with Caitlin Custer, who will be presenting how to create meaningful communications. And in the meantime, feel free to make a $5 suggested donation to MAPS, or to just check out what we're doing at midwestarts.org. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. And please do remember to fill out the survey that you'll be getting later. All right. Thank you.